What is your no BS advice to the owner who, wants to sell in the next couple of years, but has no idea where to start?
Get on ServiceTitan, invest in your tech stack. That's where the world's going, is technology, right? So you have to be 5 steps ahead of your competitors. So getting on ServiceTitan is going to allow you to digitalize everything. So if you just look at the key aspects, a good CRM, a good brand, good reviews and presence in the marketplace, and a good team, everything else is fixable, right? Like if you have those key things in place.
Welcome to the Home Service Hacks Podcast, the show for contractors who refuse to settle for average. Hosted by Bill Brown, licensed HVAC contractor, AI and automation expert, and founder of ServiceTitan Hacks Community. Each episode features real conversations with contractors, tech founders, and innovators who are reshaping the trades. From AI and automation to pricing, marketing, and management, if it's working in the field, you'll hear about it here. Let's get into it.
So today's guest is Kelly Mesaris, VP of Special Operations at LB Capital. She's helped scale HVAC and roofing companies fast and knows exactly what it takes to get a business private equity ready in under 2 years. So Kelly, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks for having me.
Great. So can you walk us through your journey? You started in legal and admin work. How'd you land in operations, leadership, and private equity?
Yeah, so really where I started with trade industry is with At Your Service Heating and Cooling, where I was a partner there in that business for 10 years. So that was an HVAC company located in Baltimore, Maryland. Kind of grew in the service industry, just involved and golfed myself and everything there was to learn. Was a ServiceTitan client from the beginning when they kind of rolled out. So learning through that was a lot. Engulfing myself in any trade events and things like that is really what helped me grow through over those 10 years. And then with that, of going to those industry events, I was able to form relationships with many people in the industry, like Tom Howard. And when I was decided to change roles, he was one of the first people I reached out to. And he was friends with Lance Bachman, so he connected us. Lance was looking for a GM for his HVAC company, Dilling HVAC here in PA. Lance had already sold the one in North Carolina, the Dilling location. So he was looking to come to PA and replicate that business and sell it. So came in as a GM for about a year, and we did end up selling Dilling PA also. And then Lance asked me to transition into the role of LB Capital VP Operations. So currently I oversee the operations of all of our roofing companies at LB Capital. And with some recent sales, we currently have 4 under our umbrella. So we're always looking to grow and add additional partners and companies. But right now I do oversee the operations of 4 roofing companies. And then in addition, LB Capital events that we host throughout the year. So that's kind of my journey from HVAC to roofing. And now LB Capital is 100% focused on roofing once we sold that last HVAC company.
Okay. So yeah, I went to one of your guys' roofing conferences in Marco Island last December. Gary Vaynerchuk was there, and I'm not sure if Tom was there, but I know Tommy Mello was there. It was a great event, great speakers, great vendors. I really enjoyed it. So I think you were part of LB at that time, right?
I was, and so helped with that. That was our first year since we bought it from Dimitri. So we really did great with that. We broke records for sponsorships, ticket sales, and now we're really excited. We're hosting the same conference the first week in December, again in Marco Island, same location. So we're really excited as we bought that conference mid-year. Perfected, jumped in, and then now we're perfecting it. So our keynote, Savannah Bananas, or I think this keynote they just announced. So that's huge, different, right? And so we're looking forward to that and having a really great event again. It's a beautiful location. So hopefully you'll join us again for that, Bill.
Absolutely. I live about an hour and a half north, so it's a nice drive, get to keep my car. So just drive right down the coast.
You're lucky.
So, well, thank you. One of the things that I'm kind of getting a theme here going back is you and Lance and your team really know how to scale a business. So let's kind of talk about that a little bit. What does it actually take to scale and go from an operator of a company or owner operator to being able to have a sellable asset within 16 months or, a couple of years?
It takes a huge commitment, a lot of grit, a good team, right? Like we've had recent culture index training come in the rep there that we utilize that program and, lining up our leadership team across the board. He's like, I've never seen a leadership team like this. It's like a rocket ship. We all have like high A autonomy lines. So I think we have a really great team that drives that. Our CEO, Bill Rizal, Lance, of course, being the visionary of all this. He's super driven, successful person. So having him at the top to drive all of us is huge. But really, it's just a team collaborative effort. And then rinse and repeat playbook that we have, right? So we have this playbook. Lance has now sold 6 companies with our team. So we know what it takes. And now we're just, as we perfect, it's just happening even faster. So our most recent success story, our most recent exit was Munz Roofing and Siding, which was a local PA, New Jersey company here. In 2023, we had 2 partners that we rolled up together. They were both doing roughly 1.5 million. So we closed out 2023 at a collaborative revenue of 3 million. We set a goal for 25 million in 2024. And we fell short about $600,000 of it. So we came in at 24,648,000, I think is almost the exact number, which is huge. And by that October of 2024, we already had an LOI from PE and we announced the sale in January of this year. So, and I think they're pacing this month. I saw my roll-up report come through of close to $5 million. So not only has we did a great job of us teeing it up for Alloy, was the roofing platform, Perjan that bought it, but now even more so is it's amazing to see what they've done and executed with the Munz model. And they're building out their whole Alloy roofing platform based off of the Munz structure. So that's something we're really proud of too, is knowing that we built the platform out for their model company for this platform that they're going to build out with all different roofing companies across the state and use our SOPs, our process, our sales process, and everything like that. And so that's what we do. Then we set now Planet Roof is our next one that's on a rolling 12, and we have another one in Maryland that's on a rolling 12, and it's the same playbook. But what's fun to see now is that each time we're not perfect. We'll say that LD Capital, right? But we learn from those mistakes, and then we have those other companies that we know what not to do the next time. So that just means that we grow and scale just that much faster. So Planet Roof is already outpacing Munz where we were at that time. So that's really exciting to see. And then like what's the possibility and opportunities to do this even faster and faster and faster each time with each exit. And we already had PE looking at the P&Ls and things like that for Planet. So that's really exciting. And that's what we do. And we have the platform and playbook built out and we know it works and we just keep not reinventing the wheel and just doing what works.
Sure. Just adding a little bit to it and changing a little bit because, I mean, when you have a company go from 1.5 million to 23.5 million or 23.4 million, there has to be the majority of the things right to get that kind of growth, right? And I would imagine that the owner operator of that company is pretty surprised to see that level of growth, and it must be exciting for them. So when you're going into these companies, what are the levers you focus on first? Is it going to be revenue, operations, people, applying that system? What kind of things, mistakes do you see contractors making when they think they're scaling?
Yeah, I mean, so when we go in, we look for the right partner, right? So we're always looking for great partners to partner with because, like you said, each one of these people have been a partner, and their hopes are is that they're stuck at that level that they can't overcome. And we know the playbook, and so we take over. And Lance is very clear that when we partner, we take over full operational control. So there's no pulling and tugging because we know it works, right? So for us to waste time, and when we're moving at lightning speed, we never hold a company longer than 24 months. We don't have time to negotiate on what works and what doesn't work. We know it works. So that's part of the partnership with us is, hey, we know it works. This is our playbook. This is what we're going to come into your business and do. And we start immediately. The biggest thing is if ServiceTitan. So if they're on AccuLinks or Job Nimbus or one of those other CRMs, we immediately come in. We have a model tenant built out. We roll them up into ServiceTitan, carry over any AR, contacts, things like that, and hit the ground running. We bring in our sales team. So LB Capital for any of our companies, if you join any of our organizations, it is mandatory that you come in for 2 weeks of sales training. So we hold that the first 2 weeks of every month. And that's again for our companies, but we did just start releasing it so that any outside company can send some of their sales reps for that training because it is a world-class sales training. So a lot of people utilize that, but we bring in their sales team. We say, this is how the sales playbook looks. This is the way we're going to utilize that. You're going to participate on ServiceTitan. You're going to be on Rilla. And we do lose some people in that, but we know it works. So there's no non-negotiables with that. So that's what it looks like first, is mainly getting the CRM set up, our tech stack built out, the sales team trained, and then we kind of slowly, if the rebrand is needed. So some of them, we've kept the brand, like Planet. We kept that brand, but Dan Antonelli Kickcharge did a great job of making it from a mean face to a happy face and be more appealing to the customer, right? And then in our other markets, we did come in there with a rebrand. Salty Dogs is our most recent one in South Carolina. It looks beautiful. And again, Dan Antonelli from Kickcharge has done all those for us. So that's the two things immediately that we do is ServiceTitan, rebrand if needed, and then getting the sales team bought into the new processes and get them trained. It all starts with sales, right? Like, to keep the money, the bank account flowing, to do all these new changes, we got to get sales in the door. So we get the CSRs, if they have any in-house, come train with ours. And again, we just make sure that everyone across the line is following the playbook. And what that usually looks like for partners, most of them in our organizations are the sales leaders of the organization. But sometimes we find that they were stuck where they were because they don't feel comfortable selling or holding a team accountable to a certain price point. So we find some owners are like, I'd rather do PM, or I'd rather just kind of sit back. But then they do give up some points of their exit phantom stock. So that's what that kind of looks like. And there's options, how we structure it, but it's always by our playbook. And Lance makes that clear that LB Capital does have full operational control with any partnership.
It's working. Makes sense.
And then to become a millionaire or multimillionaire within 2 years. So there's sacrifices, right?
Yeah, it's a very specific path that just doesn't happen on its own. It's not luck that you all of a sudden grow your company and become that attractive for a buyer. So, going back to ServiceTitan, because I spent a lot of time with it, is it helpful for a contractor or for a company that's interested in partnering with LB to already be on ServiceTitan and kind of have that going? Is that one of the big humps that you guys have to get over, is changing the whole operational system?
It's not a requirement, right? There are a lot of things that Lance looks for in a good partner. Are they focused, driven, committed? Are they a good family man or woman, whoever it may be? And the reason for that is there focus on the core values there, right? Like, so if you're out, he always says, like, if you're out single out partying, well, is your focus going to be in your business, or do you have that anchor at home, whether it be a male or female, holding it down so that you can focus on your business and things like that? So that's the vision there. It's just having good core values. But no, I wouldn't say ServiceTitan is a deal breaker. Honestly, it makes the transition a lot quicker so that we can get to that rolling 12, that what PE looks for, to the runway is what we call it. So everything all the steps you take will lead you to get to that exit quicker. It may take an additional 3 months though. Now, if you're not on ServiceTitan, as we fully maximize and build out your ServiceTitan to get to that point, I would advise anyone to start doing that. Like, even anyone that comes to our free shop tours or our mastermind events, we're like, whether you're going to be partnered with us or not, we want what's best for you. That's why you come here, because not everyone wants to partner or is qualified to be a partner, but we're still here to help you, because that's Lance has an abundance mindset, and that's kind of funneled through to all of our team, and why we do these podcasts and things like that is for awareness and hey, here's how you can grow. And even if you're not a partner and that's not the vision you want, maybe it's a legacy business for your family that you want, but here's what we know works, right? So we're still willing to share that with you, whether you're a partner or not. And that's ServiceTitan. And private equity really doesn't want to deal with any company that's not, on ServiceTitan. So whether you're a partner with us or not, we recommend that, like, the first step if you're going to drive your business and be able to look at metrics, like, that's what ServiceTitan is huge for, is being able to get the data. And especially with us, of how quickly we're moving, we don't have time to make wrong decisions. So having our marketing campaign set up, having our CSR data, having all our leads integrated into Bookings Hub, we are moving at lightning speed to get to this goal. So we don't have time to funnel around in different programs. And like, we've met some people that are like, oh, I used this for this, and then I used this for this. And and you can't move it and scale. It's not scalable. And that's why PE doesn't want it if it's not all in one centralized location with correct, clean data. And that's what really ServiceTitan thrives at.
Yeah.
That's what we found.
It is great. They have the strongest reporting features of any CRM, and it gets very granular, so you guys can look at all that stuff. So, you know, talking about Munz Roofing going from 1.5 million to over 20 million, I mean, that is that's jumping on a very fast-moving train. How do you guys keep the leadership and the existing staff from breaking under that pressure? That seems like that's a lot. They're gonna go from just sitting there relaxing to 100 miles an hour, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, our leadership team is very close and core to Lance, and so I think we're a unicorn of a leadership team where we do it is high demand, right? But then we have what the organization looks like. So when we partner, again, I'll handle all your operations. Bill Rizal, the CEO, will oversee P&Ls, your marketing decisions, and things like that. And then we have Mike Shelley, who's our chief revenue officer, who will oversee your sales and sales team. Really, there's not much of commitment from the partner level, right? Like the on-site level. If you were to walk in any of our location branches, you would find a very pretty office that's more so for the sales team to come together for daily meetings. And we asked again the owner to either step up and be the sales leader of the organization or oversee a sales. We hire a sales leader, give up some stock options, and then they run the sales team. So really all our on-site locations are just a pretty sales team, right? All of our productions held in-house at headquarters here. If anything, we take a lot of the work, and that is the value of partnership too, say, hey, we take over the CSR. If you have a CSR on site, we'll train them, but we take it over. So we are handling the CSR department and training them. Production's handled in-house. So really only thing that they have to focus on as the owner or partner is the sales and driving sales and revenue. We have a CFO, Jolynn, who takes care of all the P&Ls. We have a whole payroll accounting team. So really, if you look at it, we take a lot off their plate and just say, hey, we need you to focus on driving sales in your on your location. Again, leadership takes a lot of the burden off of them. So it's not a lot to take on as a partner. If anything, we're taking a load off of you.
Probably a lot of things that the owner operator didn't really enjoy doing anyway, right? When I had my company, we had a sales culture. We talked about it all day, every day. Every time a technician ran a call, we'd talk about what happened. We didn't have anything like Rilla at that time, which,
Mhm.
man, I would have loved to have that, because
Yeah.
without Rilla, you don't really know exactly what happened. You just have to take the technician's word for it. And what we found is that their recollection of exactly what happened on a call is much different than
Different.
what really happened, right?
I would agree.
But that's great that the owner and operator is now able to focus on something specific as sales, because you could spend all of your time dealing with that, right? I mean,
Yep.
that's such a big deal, especially if you're not priced correctly and you have to get your team to increase their pricing by 25%. That takes a whole different playbook in order to be able to do that. So,
I agree. Yeah. I mean, again, we set up all their price book and things like that. So it's like you said, just kind of getting the buy-in from the team. Daily sales mojo call that every company holds from 8 to 9 a.m. The sales leader will handle all the turnover calls while the sales team's in the house. And again, just making sure that it's a positive drive in the right direction with sales department.
yeah, sure. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit. I want to talk about women in the trades. I see that over the last few years, I've seen there's a Women in the Trades conference. I've seen that women in the trades have partnered with some different vendors. And you're pretty vocal about bringing more women into this industry that's obviously been historically male dominated. So what have you seen happen with that in the last few years? Are you starting to get some more traction and attract women into this industry?
Yeah, I mean, I always am an advocate for women in the trades, but I also never utilize it as a tool or set myself different where like, oh, I'm women in the trade. Like I want to be seen aligned. So, and to make yourself align, you have to not draw additional focus to like being someone special or anything like that. Like you're
Yeah.
all just one same driven mission, right? So I have spoken on the women's panel at Tommy Mello's home service freedom event, which is a great event. Good friends at Ellen War. She just texted me over the weekend. So I love surrounding myself with the women in the industry. And I love seeing like the last two ServiceTitan podcast release, I believe I've seen have been women. And so I just slowly see that happening. And I'm in the back end like, ooh, that's so exciting because it's just naturally happening, right? Like, I don't know that there's this overbearing force in the industry. We have ladies Titans who does a great job of of kind of having a group of women that can collaborate together. But I just think it's naturally happened without it having to be like forceful. I'm a member of the National Women's and Roofing Association. So that's great. I just involving myself in that, but I never want to be the one that's like, segregating in the space and saying, pro women and over the top with it, right? Like we're all here, the same mission. And I think if you have that vision and don't get tied up in the political of it, then
Yeah.
then we're all same team and no one looks at you any different. So I have agree with you. I see a lot of women starting to come into the industry. I think they realize it's not just a blue collar. It's like now, especially now with PE so involved, like the possibilities are endless and opportunities and the money to be made in the industry, no matter what position you're in, I think is intriguing. And I'm really proud of women that are in their industry and taking the leap. And I think once you take the leap, right, because it's not well known. And that's why I hope to make it well known by coming on these podcasts of like, hey, here's the potential, what you can do, right? Like I was always had my hands in operations, but I've done ride-alongs, and so and I think that's a tip too is if you're going to do it, right? Like you're just don't think that you can just walk into it. You have to do the grit work to understand and to get your team to appreciate and buy into you, right? Like if you just roll in and you're like, "Hey, I'm the new operations manager," or like at Dilling, the new GM, if
Hmm.
if of a team full of male technicians are like, "Who's this girl, like, rolling in, and, like, what makes her qualified?" I've been in the industry for 10 years, and because I had to overcome that. When Lance brought me in, I had a team meeting, and it's like, "Who are you? Like, how are you, HVAC?" And so you have to also, when you come in, it's not gonna be a given, you have to prove yourself, and so I jumped in, told him my years of experience, but that was lip service, so now I went in, actually did ride-alongs and was converting higher tickets than them, and, like, that's where they were like, "Holy shit, okay, this person is truly here. She wasn't this job was earned, like, it wasn't a given, and she's here to help us grow." So I think that's a point too to say is that don't expect to just when you do come join the trade for everyone to respect you. It has to be earned. And I think getting in the trenches with them is how it's earned.
Yeah, for sure. I think that from what I've seen, that'll happen with men or women. Whenever someone gets in the trades in the blue collar, you have that high level of skill in the field. It's difficult to take directions and orders from someone who's never been out there. And they don't have to be as good as the people in the field. They just have to have some sort of an understanding of what it is they go through on a daily basis. They have to be face to face with that customer getting on their case because something went wrong, right? So I think that any leaders that I've ever hired, and including myself, the ability to go in the field and see what's really happening, where the customers are, is very, very important. So,
Yeah, and I think like you said, this was before Rella when I came on as my 10 years experience at Irish Hearst and then as a GM for Dilling, there wasn't a Rella. So like you said, you get different things and you're like you can't monitor and run a company and fix gaps in your organization from sitting behind a computer, right? So it's like,
right.
let me go out there. Then I notice, hey, my guy's not a job class, and they're not using shoe booties, they're not following the sales process. Like you almost have to change your mindset to be like, this is an opportunity, a reward to be able to get to ride along because now I know that I'm riding along and closing gaps every single day in my organization of like, is this process being followed? Hey, they're skipping this. Hey, this isn't set up right in ServiceTitan. Like you don't know those things. And sometimes people get burnt out on like coming to you every time of like, hey, this is price
Mhm.
book is my option sheet's not right in ServiceTitan. Or like, I'm out of shoe covers. Like, and they don't remember because they're just going to call to call to call. But I'm literally in the ride along saying, hey, this tech needs new shoebies. Hey, like in the price book when we tried to sell this air filter, it wasn't price, options weren't built out. So if you change your mindset of like it's a huge opportunity and a reward to be able to do ride-alongs. Again, Reela's help take the load off on that, but even if you
Right.
can still do one a day or a week and then have Reela monitoring the other team, I think it's a huge opportunity. But going back to that, I think everything in the industry, male or female, has to be earned and you have to have your teams bought in, and that's what's helped make me successful is no one's ever questioned me, and once I've proven myself, and you earn respect that way.
For sure. Yeah, that makes sense. So, let's talk about some opportunities for the listeners to connect with LB Capital. If they're interested in learning more about what it is that you guys do, what should they do?
So our playbook that I discussed is It's about 50 pages long that Lance has built out as our playbook of what we do at LB Capital. So if you could provide a link, I can send that to you for the listeners. And they just go and put in their contact information. It's a free playbook. That'll kind of give you insight on how our operations works. And then the next thing I would recommend is a free shop tour. So we hold free shop tours the first Wednesday of every full week of the month. August 6th is our next shop tour. But again, we hold those the first Wednesday. And so all the dates are on our website, lbcap.com. Hit the shop tour button. So I recommend that first. And then a lot of people, what they do is come to shop tour to see live time operations. So you have the playbook where you see it on paper. Then they put the puzzle pieces together. Our shop tour, seeing our production team, our CSR team. They sit down half day. We provide lunch with all of our C-suite executives, and they can pick our brains. And then if they want more about them, right? Because we can take notes all day long, but if we don't come back and execute, next step would be the mastermind. That is a 2-day more intensive event where they come at our location and we dive into their stuff. So they bring their P&Ls, they bring their marketing playbook, and we dive in and say, hey, we speak and present, right, of additional times, 2-day event on topics, but then we're there. They have us for 2 full days to dive into their stuff after the sessions. Be like, hey, you said this, like, can you look at my stuff? Or, Jillian will do a presentation on what PE is looking for in a P&L. Hey, can you look at my P&Ls are structured okay? And she'll get recommendations. And then that relationship and conversations continue on. And then a lot of times what they find is that they love it, want more and more and more. So Lance was at first against a coaching group, but we launched the Winner Circle because, again, with Lance's abundant mindset, he wanted to give back more and more. So with the Winner Circle, it is a $100,000 a year commitment, but you have full access. It's almost like being a partner in high level because you have full access to the C-suite executives. I am the president of the Winner Circle, so I'm there and basically supporting you just like I oversee the operations of our 4 LB Capital roofing companies. I'm there every day with these. I think we're up to 16 members now. We capped it out at 10, and then that sold out in 2 days. So we were, with more demand, we opened up a second round. So I think there's like 2 spots left if anyone's interested, and I think we're going to cap it at that. Because it's a lot, right? So like I'm in the operations of these 16 companies that want to do what LB Capital's doing, but for various reasons, like if we're locked out when you exit, so now we're locked out in many territories with our 6 exits. So we can't partner with some people that if they're located in states, like we have a Winner Circle member that's in Texas. Well, we are locked out of the Texas territory once you sell to PE if they have another company in that platform. So we're like, hey, we can't partner with you, but so the Winner Circle is like the next best thing if we cannot partner with you. And so you have full access to our C-suite executives, myself, and I'm in the grind with you doing site visits. I'm saying monitoring operations. CSRs can come in and train. Again, it's like being a partner without that partnership, and I'm there every step of the way and helping you build and exit. Hopefully the goal is every year we set with those 2 years and we'll help you exit the PE, and we have all those relationships so we can hand off the P&Ls or have those conversations like, hey, take a look at this company. And then usually PE will come back and say, hey, give it another month or 2, or like they need to do this. So again, it's the value of being a partner without having that partnership. And we do offer the monthly payments and that. So I think it comes out to $8,333 and change, but which is an invaluable commitment because you have access to all of us and our whole playbook and someone in your business that's telling you how to drive it.
Yeah, that's something you couldn't get for $8,300 a month anywhere, really.
No.
You have a whole team of people that you can call. That's even the playbook itself is probably worth that, right? Because you were going to make and save that amount of money when you invest in that. So
one job.
Where's LB Capital's shop located?
It's in, we just relocated with the sale of Munz and Shock IT. We had both companies in Bristol. And so we relocated. We're having a new state-of-the-art facility built out in Bluebell. So right now we're in temporary office in Bluebell, but then our permanent one will be in the same building. It's just under build out. So Bristol, Bluebell will be where the tours and everything else is held.
Is that in the Philadelphia area?
It's about 45 minutes. Yeah, 45 minutes hour from Philadelphia.
Okay, great. You guys have any giveaways, any gifts or opportunities for the first few listeners who reach out or take a specific action?
I mean, the playbook, that's a huge giveaway.
Yeah.
That's open to everyone. Let me see if I can pull some Lance's book, All In. He was a speaker in there. And give that to the first couple listeners. I know we have some of those. So yeah, I'd be willing to do that. First 10 listeners, we'll give a All In book to that Lance wrote and signed. We'll get them to sign it for us. And then again, the free shop tour, that's invaluable too. There's certain members too that, don't have the budget to commit, right? So they keep coming to the shop tours because just like anything else at any service trade events, you come back and you take one golden nugget, come back, execute. One golden nugget, come back, execute. And there's a local guy that's takes advantage. Like, you're silly not to take advantage of, right? Anything that's free. And that's where I got to. I listened to podcasts. I signed up for every free webinar. If I could budget it, I went to every trade event, Pantheon, Rhino X, whatever it may have been. And it's gotten me here, right? So like, I know that their budget doesn't always allow, but there's so many opportunities. One, to take advantage, sign up for any free playbooks, listen to these podcasts, and grow yourself. And you have to look at it as not, you're doing this for yourself, because those skills and those things that you learn are indispensable and you can take anywhere with you as you grow and just engulf yourself. ServiceTitan has an abundance of training that you can do. You can become certified. So I recommend that. Like, make yourself indispensable in the trades, and the possibilities are endless. But yeah, I think the playbook's free, and then the shop tour, and I'll get the first 10 listeners an All In signed copy of Lance's book. And I think that's my recommendations.
Fantastic. So what is your no BS advice to the owner who, wants to sell in the next couple of years, but has no idea where to start?
Get on ServiceTitan.
Right.
Invest in your tech stack, right? Like, that's where the world's going, is technology, right? So you have to be 5 steps ahead of your competitors. So getting on ServiceTitan is going to allow you to digitalize everything, right? So you don't have paper invoices. If there's still people out there that are utilizing paper estimates, it'll help you track your marketing, right? League aggregators, get on league aggregators. That's huge for us. So our top 3 are Angie Ads, Angie Leads, Networks, and they help us tremendously contribute to revenue. I know not everyone's a fan of them. And again, read the playbook, come to our shop tour. You have nothing to lose, and see our playbook, and then you can mock it to set yourself up for what PE is looking for. We'll show you at the shop tour, like how your P&L should be structured and what they're looking at. And that's what the key couple things that PE looks for, right? Is like your CRM. They don't want headaches, right? So you have to have a good CRM that's clean. So ServiceTitan, good reviews, good brand. So we use Dan and Tony Kick Charge for all of our brands. A good team, right? Like the team that's going to stick around. It's really not that hard, right? Like, sometimes we overcomplicate things. And if you just look at the key aspects, a good CRM, a good brand, good reviews and presence in the marketplace, and a good team, everything else is fixable, right? Like, if you have those key things in place. When you go back to PE too, you have to remember, when you question yourself, is they want things that are scalable. They can't be manual. They can't be like, and that's where the CRM is important, and all the automation. And that's why I say focus on your tech stack. Because all of that tech can be lightning speed, be scalable, whereas anything manual, paper cannot be. And that's not, PE doesn't want that, because they can't control it or handle it.
And that's part of the playbook that you guys have, because you're getting these companies to get ready for that. So yeah, PE has their formulas. They have their list of things that they look for in purchasing a company, just like people who are purchasing stocks have things they analyze, right?
Criteria.
So yeah, it makes sense. So where can people connect with you? Where's the best place to, is it Facebook or?
So I would say Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, podcast. So there's a couple I've done for Hatch, ServiceTitan, now this one with you. So find me. Yeah, I think on the internet, anywhere you can find me, and everywhere's a resource. I'm always advocating for the industry. So anywhere you find me, there will be good content.
Fantastic. I'll drop some links in the podcast episodes so that people can easily connect with you and LB Capital and Lance and the team. And thanks a lot for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And hopefully the listeners learned a lot. I know I did.
Yeah, I appreciate it
a lot.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for listening to the Home Service Hacks podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss a future episode. For more information or to connect with Bill, You can check us out on Facebook at ServiceTitan Hacks or visit our website at ServiceTitanHacks.com. We'll see you next time.